Think shopping at Walmart is safe? Think again. In 2025, America's largest retailer has been rocked by a series of horrifying product scandals. An ex-Walmart employee is blowing the whistle, and the revelations are staggering. We're talking about tainted food and dangerous goods that could be lurking in your cart right now. Nearly 95% of Americans shop at Walmart, trusting those low prices. But that trust is being betrayed. Just this year, Walmart has been hit with multiple recalls of products that can make you seriously ill or even kill you, from foods contaminated with deadly bacteria to gadgets that literally burst into flames. And it doesn't stop there. Insiders say Walmart's cost-cutting and corner-cutting means rotten groceries, toxic ingredients, and shoddy safety behind that smiling yellow logo. If you thought saving a few bucks was worth it, brace yourself. In this explosive countdown, we expose the 10 items you should never buy at Walmart, according to a former employee who's had enough. These are real 2025 cases backed by FDA warnings, recall reports, and employee testimonies. Pay attention. Your health and safety are on the line. Our countdown starts with an item from Walmart's own Great Value brand. Number 10, their chicken broth. It looks innocent on the shelf, but earlier this year, Walmart had to yank thousands of these off the market. Why? Because the packaging was faulty. So much so that it could let bacteria in and turn the broth into a spoiled soup of germs. In March 2025, over 2,000 cases of Great Value chicken broth, more than 12,000 cartons, were recalled nationwide. The FDA flagged an internal procedural error at the factory, meaning a shortcut in production led to seal failures. Think about that. A product that's supposed to be a kitchen staple could be teeming with microbes because Walmart's supplier botched the packaging. And Walmart admitted the sterility of the product was compromised, a fancy way of saying it might be crawling with bacteria. While this was labeled a Class 2 recall, less urgent than the most life-threatening tier, the risk of food poisoning was real. Former employees say Walmart's private label suppliers are pushed to cut costs, sometimes at the expense of quality control. An internal error like this is exactly what you get. That cheap Great Value broth isn't such a great value if it's harboring spoilage. It's a recipe for disaster in your next soup. Don't buy it, or if it's in your pantry, check if it's from the affected batch and toss it out. Walmart might promise to work swiftly on recalls, but by the time a product is pulled, how many people already brought home a ticking time bomb from the grocery aisle? 9. Great Value milk. If you've ever grabbed a gallon of Walmart's Great Value milk, you probably assumed it would stay fresh until the date on the jug. Think again. All across the country, shoppers are raging about sour Walmart milk that goes bad days before it should. In fact, this issue has become so widespread that local news investigations found dozens of complaints from multiple states about Walmart's milk spoiling early. One disgusted customer wrote online, "I bought Great Value 2% with a sell-by of the 16th on the 12th. It almost made me throw up from the smell." Another shopper said their unopened half-gallon went sour well before the date, lamenting, "Every single time with Walmart milk, it's bad by the best. By date. I haven't had problems with other brands." So, what's going on? Insiders point to Walmart's supply chain shortcuts. Walmart opened its own dairy processing plant a few years back to cut costs, but experts say if milk isn't kept at proper cold temps every step of the way, bacteria proliferate. That means the jug you grabbed might already be on a ticking clock because somewhere between the farm and the Walmart cooler, someone slacked on refrigeration. And unlike other groceries, expiration dates aren't federally regulated for milk. It's all on trust. Walmart's response? Essentially shrugging, with officials claiming they found no safety issue at the plant. Tell that to the customers pouring chunky, smelly milk into their cereal. This isn't just an issue of gag-worthy grossness. Spoiled milk can cause foodborne illness if ingested. The ex-employee who's speaking out says this is a prime example of Walmart's corner cutting. They push products out fast and cheap, and quality control falls through the cracks, they explain. Skip Walmart's house brand milk altogether. Saving $1 isn't worth the risk of gulping sour, bacteria-laden milk or rushing to the bathroom or hospital because Walmart can't keep it cold. Get your dairy from a store that doesn't have a reputation for rancid milk. 8. This next item might be sitting in your pantry right now. Tostitos Cantina Traditional Tortilla Chips. Yes, a name brand product. But here's the catch. Walmart was selling bags that could send unsuspecting snackers into anaphylactic shock. In March 2025, Frito-Lay quietly announced a recall of certain 13-ounce bags of these chips because they might contain a completely different chip seasoned with nacho cheese, that is milk. Milk that isn't listed on the label, a nightmare scenario for the lactose intolerant and dairy allergic. The FDA later slapped this recall with a Class 1 hazard classification, its highest level, which means there's a reasonable probability that eating those chips could cause serious illness or death. We're talking life-threatening allergic reactions from a tortilla chip. How did this happen? The recall notice explained that due to a production mix-up, some bags of plain chips accidentally had nacho cheese chips inside. So you think you're buying simple corn chips, but a dairy-sensitive person could be biting into a dangerous dose of cheese powder. The ex-Walmart employee tells us this is part of a larger pattern. Walmart's all about volume. They pile the inventory high. When a recall like this hits, I've seen managers scramble to pull products, but some slipped through. In fact, Walmart's own food safety team had to block sales as soon as Frito-Lay sounded the alarm. But if you bought a bag before the recall, you'd have no warning until your throat started closing up. One former Walmart stalker said, "We found out about the chip recall from corporate and I thought, how many people already ate this?" The recalled bags had guaranteed fresh dates of May 2025, so check your kitchen. Packaging deception at its worst. The label says one thing, the contents another. Even if you don't have allergies, it's downright disturbing. Walmart shoppers deserve better than playing allergen roulette with their snacks. Until Frito-Lay and Walmart prove they can keep their supply lines straight, you might want to get your chips elsewhere, or risk a side of EpiPen with your salsa. 7. Lean Cuisine and Stouffer's Frozen Meals. Who hasn't grabbed a Lean Cuisine or Stouffer's frozen dinner from Walmart for a quick meal? Well, heads up, you might get an extra crunch that's not advertised. In early 2025, Nestle, which makes Lean Cuisine and Stouffer's, had to recall multiple frozen entrees sold at Walmart and other stores because customers reported finding pieces of wood-like material in the food. Yes, you heard that right. Wood in the food. The recall affected a whole range of meals. Lean Cuisine's butternut squash ravioli, spinach artichoke ravioli, lemon garlic shrimp stir-fry, and even Stouffer's large party-sized lasagnas. These were produced and shipped out in late 2024 and early 2025. Meaning they were sitting in Walmart freezers nationwide for months. By the time Nestle fessed up, who knows how many people had already chomped on splinters. Imagine feeding your family a lasagna and wondering if those hard bits are seasoning, only to find out it's contaminated with wood. The FDA categorized this as a foreign material contamination issue. While Nestle claimed no injuries had been reported, yet, Consumer Reports noted that even wood-like fragments can pose a choking hazard or mouth injuries. A former Walmart frozen foods associate explains how something like this can slip by. Those meals come in sealed. We don't know there's a problem until customers get sick or HQ issues a recall. But I'll tell you, Walmart's so busy stocking shelves that questionable batches might not get removed immediately. Sure enough, Walmart had to be told by Nestle and the USDA to pull these dinners off the floor. This is a classic example of a defective product that Walmart kept selling until it blew up into a recall. If you bought frozen meals, check the codes. Nestle listed specific batch numbers through early 2026 Best Buy dates. But the larger lesson? Be very wary of Walmart's frozen meal section right now. An ex-employee put it bluntly, if they're finding wood in there, what else slipped through? Plastic? Metal? God forbid. It's frozen convenience with a side of mystery debris, and it's not worth the risk. 6. Pet food. Walmart doesn't just put customers at risk. Even your pets aren't safe from their cost-cutting fallout. In late 2024, a major alert went out to attention Walmart shoppers who buy pedigree dog food. Certain bags of kibble were found to be contaminated with sharp metal fragments. Yes, you read that correctly. Shards of metal in dog food sold at Walmart. The recall specifically covered 44-pound bags of Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition, steak and veg flavor, sold in at least 4 states: Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. The affected lot had a best buy of March 2025, meaning these potentially dangerous bags were on Walmart shelves for weeks. Mars Pet Care, the maker of Pedigree, had to work with Walmart to pull 315 bags that had been shipped to 176 stores. Now imagine if this recall hadn't been caught in time. Families could have unknowingly poured bowls of kibble studded with metal bits. Pets could suffer internal cuts, choking, or death if they ingested something like that. Extraneous metal pieces are one of the most frequent causes of food recalls, the USDA says, and it happened here in a product exclusively sold by Walmart in certain regions. Insiders say Walmart's massive scale often means they get huge batches from manufacturers, and if that batch has a problem, it spreads far and wide. A former Walmart manager recalls a scary incident. A few years back, we had a cat food recall for a toxin, and ever since, I don't trust any Walmart pet product fully. They buy in such bulk that one slip-up affects thousands. In this Pedigree case, it was Mars's fault in manufacturing, but Walmart's the one who put it in your cart. If you feed your pet Walmart-sourced food, be extremely cautious. Check recall notices religiously because Walmart has a history of selling pet items later flagged as hazardous. The ex-employee's warning: your fur baby's life isn't worth the couple bucks you save at Walmart. Metal and kibble? That's the last straw. Consider buying pet food from a retailer known for stricter quality control. Walmart has proven that in their race to dominate prices, even basic safety for our pets can fall by the wayside. 5. Cheap electronics and chargers. It's not just food. Some of the non-grocery products Walmart pushes as bargains can literally burn your house down. Case in point, those off-brand portable phone chargers and gadgets often found on Walmart's website and shelves. In 2025, a massive recall was issued for the Baseus 65W30-000 portable chargers sold online at retailers including Walmart, after it was discovered their lithium batteries can overheat and catch fire. Over 55,000 units of these high-capacity power banks were recalled in May 2025 for posing a fire hazard. If you bought one to juice up your phone or laptop, you were actually toting around a potential time bomb of a battery. And this isn't an isolated incident. Walmart's marketplace is flooded with low-cost electronics from third-party brands with sketchy safety records. A class action lawsuit recently alleged that Walmart's own ONN brand power banks didn't even meet their advertised specifications, essentially deception, selling you less than what you think you're getting. But worse, the safety element. Another recall alert, via the CPSC, warned that wireless charging banks sold on Walmart's site could overheat and ignite into flames. One former Walmart electronics associate revealed, "We'd occasionally get memos to pull some cheap gadget off the floor. No explanation at first, but we learned it was because they were melting or sparking." Walmart loves to tout save money, live better. But saving money on these electronics could mean not living at all if a charger burns your bedroom down. Shoppers often assume products in big stores meet safety standards, but Walmart's vast marketplace lets in a lot of untested, low-quality tech. The ex-employee's warning: be very careful buying electronics at Walmart, especially lesser-known brands. The price tag might be low, but that charger or extension cord might be missing crucial safety mechanisms. Unless you enjoy the smell of electrical fires, it's worth spending a bit more on reputable brands from a retailer that vets their products. At Walmart, the gadget that's $5 cheaper could come with a hidden cost: your home. 4. Aper Pool Vacuum. Here's one of the most alarming items on this list, and it's something you'd never expect to burst into flames: a pool vacuum cleaner. Yes, Walmart was selling a sleek, cordless pool vacuum called the Aper Seagull Pro, and it turned out to be a serious fire hazard. In March 2025, the Consumer Product Safety Commission dropped the hammer with a recall, revealing that the lithium battery in these vacuums can overheat and combust while charging. The manufacturer received at least 19 reports of these things melting, smoking, or outright catching fire during charging. In 5 cases, they caused property damage. Imagine a pool gadget burning down your garage or shed. It's pure nightmare fuel. And guess where these vacuums were being sold? You got it, Walmart, among others. Walmart's own Twitter account even put out a product recall alert to warn customers. A former Walmart employee familiar with the seasonal department said this about the incident. "We sold those Aper vacuums online and in some stores. No one expects a pool cleaner to torch their house. We were frantically checking inventory after the recall notice." The Aper Seagull Pro was supposed to be a convenient cordless helper, but due to what appears to be cheap battery design or lack of proper safeguards, it turned into a potential Molotov cocktail on a charger. This points to a bigger issue: Walmart's supply chain vetting for these kinds of products. The Seagull Pro was made by a Shenzhen-based company and rushed into a huge retail channel. Did anyone at Walmart check if it had proper overcharge protection? Or did they just see a hot new product to undercut the competition? The answer came in literal flames. The CPSC recall advised consumers to stop using it immediately because of the burn hazard. If you or anyone you know bought a cordless pool gadget from Walmart, check the model. The ex-employee's broader warning: be wary of Walmart's home and outdoor electronics. From hoverboards to pool vacuums, we've seen batteries go up in smoke. Walmart might sell it for less, but if it's built on the cheap, you're playing with fire, sometimes literally. 3. Pre-packaged fresh produce. Sliding back into the grocery realm, let's talk produce those healthy fruits and veggies we're all told to eat. You might pick up Walmart's convenient pre-cut or pre-packaged produce items to save time. But in 2025, that convenience could come with a dose of deadly bacteria. Within the last few months, Walmart's produce section has seen multiple scares: Listeria in packaged celery sticks, Salmonella on cucumber slices, Listeria on broccoli florets, all sold under Walmart's Fresh brand market side. In April 2025, Duda Farm Fresh Foods, a supplier, issued a recall of market-side celery sticks because they tested positive for Listeria monocytogenes. If you're not familiar, Listeria is a bacteria that can cause severe illness or death, especially in the elderly, pregnant, or immunocompromised. Around the same time, Walmart itself had to recall its market-side cucumber slices in select stores due to salmonella contamination. Salmonella can send you to the hospital with bloody diarrhea or worse. And let's not forget the market-side broccoli florets recall. At the tail end of 2024, Walmart bagged broccoli in 20 states was found to potentially carry Listeria, prompting a Class 1 recall update in January 2025. The FDA doesn't elevate a recall to Class 1 unless there's a real chance of serious adverse health consequences or death from using the product. So we have multiple produce items from Walmart's own brand flagged as potentially deadly. Why does this keep happening? Former produce department employees say Walmart's handling practices don't help. One ex-Walmart worker shockingly revealed that during peak seasons, excess vegetables were stored uncovered in the same cooler as rotting meat scraps. You heard that right. Fresh greens sitting in a rotten meat storage area. That's a blatant cross-contamination risk. "It made my skin crawl," the employee said. Management didn't want to waste space, but they ended up potentially spreading bacteria from meat to produce. Even without that horror, consider that Walmart's scale has them sourcing huge volumes of pre-cut produce, which has more surface area exposed, meaning more chance for bacteria growth if anything slips in. Other retailers have had produce recalls too, but Walmart's name pops up again and again in 2025 FDA recall bulletins for these items. Our whistleblowing ex-employee urges, avoid Walmart's pre-cut fruits and veggies. Buy whole produce and chop it yourself, they insist. It might take a few extra minutes, but that beats spending days in the hospital battling a foodborne infection because Walmart's market-side shortcuts put filthy produce on your plate. Coming in at number 2 is something truly unsettling: Walmart's fresh meat. For years, there have been murmurs not to buy meat at Walmart, and 2025 gave us fresh reasons to heed that warning. Let's start with hard evidence. In May 2024, just before this year, over 16,000 pounds of ground beef sold at Walmart were recalled across multiple states due to E. coli O. 157 contamination. This is the same deadly strain that can cause kidney failure. Remember the Jack in the Box tragedy. That was O-157. The beef supplier, Cargill, admitted that previously segregated product, meat that should have been kept out, accidentally got into the production line. So tainted meat was mixed into Walmart's ground beef. If regulators hadn't caught it, countless families could have bought that beef for their tacos and gotten violently ill. Even with the recall, are we sure every tainted tray was pulled? Walmart had those products on shelves in at least 12 states. That's one strike. Now add the insider info. Former Walmart butchers and associates have described disturbing practices, from repackaging meat about to hit its expiration to using additives that keep old meat looking red. One viral social media claim from an ex-employee on Reddit alleged that Walmart's meat department managers instructed staff to dye graying beef to bright red or mix old cuts with fresh to extend shelf life. Walmart has denied such practices in the past, but multiple employees have echoed similar stories. If true, you could be buying meat that's already past prime, masked to appear fresh. And if you need more convincing, consider Walmart's own food waste policies. Another worker revealed a gut-wrenching scene where the store trashed entire pallets of fresh turkeys simply because they didn't sell in time. They wouldn't even donate them. Now, if they're willing to throw out that volume of expired meat, one has to wonder, what might they be willing to still sell? That employee pleaded, "There's no reason for this. Having to waste so much just pisses me off." The implication is that inventory and profit come before ethics at Walmart, and definitely before quality. Another ex-associate described the horror of finding a bag of rotten, liquefied potatoes hidden under a produce rack, stinking up the department, as well as seeing rotting deli meat, abandoned in odd places, signs of a store where cleanliness and rotation aren't top-notch. If such things go unnoticed, imagine what else slips by. Walmart's meats, and even deli items, have a track record of contamination and neglect. From recalls for bacteria to allegations of selling old meat, it's too big a gamble. Our insider's blunt advice: don't buy your meat at Walmart. Go to a grocer known for fresh, properly handled meat, or a local butcher. A few dollars saved at Walmart isn't worth feeding your family a potential cocktail of E. coli and who knows what, or biting into flesh that was on the verge of rotten before it ever hit the display. The number one item on this blacklist is, fittingly, the most heartbreaking. Walmart's own Parents' Choice brand baby food cereals, purees, snacks is under fire for containing dangerously high levels of toxic heavy metals. We're talking arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium neurotoxins that can permanently damage a child's developing brain. In 2021, a congressional report first blew the lid off the baby food industry. Major brands, including Walmart's, were found to have alarming heavy metal content. Fast forward to 2025, and the reckoning has arrived. Dozens of parents are suing Walmart, alleging that Parents' Choice baby foods contributed to their children developing autism and ADHD. Just this April, a federal judge refused to let Walmart escape these lawsuits, noting that there's credible evidence the company knew about the heavy metals and sold the products anyway. Internal testing from advocacy groups found Parents' Choice products like organic strawberry rice rusks, Little Hearts yogurt snacks, and Stage 2 carrot baby food contained high levels of arsenic, lead, mercury, and cadmium. These toxins are linked to lower IQ, behavioral problems, and a host of health issues. It's chilling. A Parents' Choice rice cereal was even recalled by the FDA a while back for exceeding arsenic limits. And yet, Walmart kept churning out similar products. A former quality control employee at a food manufacturer who worked on Walmart's private label foods confided that Walmart's priority was never to exceed regulatory minimums, and sometimes those minimums aren't truly safe. In other words, just because a jar of baby food isn't illegal doesn't mean it's free of poison, and Walmart, with its immense clout, pushed for ultra-cheap ingredients, which in the case of rice, a common baby food base, often means high arsenic levels. The ex-Walmart employee who inspired this list practically shouted this warning: "Do not feed your baby Walmart's baby food." They and countless others now opt for making their own baby food or buying from smaller organic brands that test rigorously. When confronted, Walmart will point to how heavy metals are naturally occurring in soil. That's a cop-out. Other companies have found ways to source safer, test more, and actually care. Walmart instead tried to get these lawsuits tossed out and failed. If Walmart won't even protect infants, the most vulnerable customers, from known toxins, it speaks volumes about their ethics. This is beyond deceptive. It's downright dangerous. Final warning, parents, you cannot trust Walmart with your baby's nutrition. The jars might be cheap and convenient, but behind those smiling parents on the label lies a toxic secret. Until Walmart proves it's eliminated these heavy metals, and honestly, don't hold your breath, keep parents' choice off your shopping list for good. Your baby depends on your choice, not parents' choice. You've heard the evidence-rotten food, toxic products, corporate corner-cutting at its worst. This ex-employee's message is loud and clear. Walmart's drive for profit can put your health and safety in danger. From the produce aisle to the baby food shelf, from your grill's propane tank to your puppy's bowl, no section is truly safe. If a retailer can't guarantee basic quality control, if it sells items that can poison, injure, or explode, do they deserve your business? Walmart's smiling rollback ads won't mention the recalls, the FDA investigations, the lawsuit allegations we uncovered. But now you know the truth. 10 everyday items that could cost you a trip to the ER or worse. This isn't about scaring you. It's about arming you with the facts to protect yourself and your family. Consumer advocates and insiders alike are sounding the alarm. So think twice before you reach for that great deal at Walmart. Sometimes the price tag is low because the standards are low too. Demand better or shop elsewhere. Your life could literally depend on it. This is not just an employee's warning. It's a wake-up call to all of us. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, no bargain is worth buying a product that could put you in harm's way. Your health is priceless, and Walmart needs to learn that the hard way. Stay alert and stay healthy.